It's bonsai time. Last year this was a 6-foot tall mimosa tree, but for whatever reason the whole top of it died this winter, so we're left with a much shorter tree. A short tree, you say? That means it's bonsai time. Got a nice thick trunk already, but this was grafted onto a different rootstock. I'm guessing that they put this onto, I don't know, some type of other mimosa rootstock, but it's got this weird wound here that kind of looks like, well, you can see what that looks like. I already broke a branch off because I was trying to test how flexible it was, and it just snapped off right there at the node, so that's something I'm gonna have to be careful with. But I'm gonna cut the top off of this because it's dead, and see what we're left with. A lot more proportional, but it's pretty lopsided. Now let's get it out of this pot. Like a lot of nursery stock, it's buried kind of deep. You can't see the root flare. Also, this thing is kind of girdling it, so we're gonna get rid of that. Let's see if we can uncover this root flare. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not this. So it was buried up to here, so all we could see was this. And then as we got digging, I mean, this is as big as round as my wrist down here, and it's got this weird lateral huge root that leads to a bunch of other roots. Let me just spin this around so you can see. Now, we like to have what's called taper in bonsai, where it goes from wide at the bottom to skinny as we move up the tree. And we exposed a huge amount of taper here, but also this weird ugly thing. So I think what needs to happen is this needs to come off. And I'm probably gonna have to get a saw to take that off. It's gonna leave a big wound, but it will allow us to have the root flare and some interest down here in the lower part of the trunk, because the upper part of the trunk is just kind of straight and not very interesting. So we could have something here. If this were like tilted down more, kind of like this is, I would leave it, but because it's such an extreme horizontal angle and then it just cuts off here, just looks like a club, it's ugly, I'm gonna get rid of it. That is a crazy transformation. From being 6-foot tall tree, now it's 2 feet tall. And this had 6 more inches of soil on top of it. The root ball is now down to almost be able to fit in a bonsai pot. It's only 4 or 5 inches tall now. We've got this crazy tapering going on. Still deciding if we're gonna cut this tree shorter or not, or leave it the same height that it is, but it's got this really interesting trunk now where it was just boring and straight. So kind of excited now. This is kind of the logical front to this tree now, where it looks more balanced. I think I am gonna go ahead and cut the top off of this too. It's got such a long skinny trunk. I'm just gonna cut it off here or here. All right, I cut it back pretty far, but it looks bad now, but it's going to resprout and look a lot nicer here soon. I haven't done a video on this one in a while, so it has put on a ton of new growth since the chop. See all that lighter green, so it's looking a lot more full. And I did build it a nice little cedar box to sit in. So that's the update.